It's not going live. Yeah. Yep. Yep. So you're going to shut it and go again. Well, you need to share your screen, bro.
I can see the face.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Sim Esports Network for your Sunday night. We are back. Australasian SUPERCAR eSeries racing tonight, brought to you by RayWhite Rural Gayndah, as you can see on my screen. The location is Las Vegas Speedway for what will be round number 10. My name's Aidan Schultz. Joining me in the booth tonight as a special guest is Ryan Barber. Good evening to you, Ryan.
Good evening, Aidan. How are you?
Yeah, very well, mate. Thank you for joining me in the booth. We'll go through quickly. It is a little bit of a later stream. We just had some technical glitches in the background. So we'll go through your championship points as we head into round number 10 here from Las Vegas tonight. So your reigning champion and current championship leader in the penultimate round is Justin Witcher there on 306 points. Scotty Rankin there in second on 280 points. Raymond Yeager in the third position on 273. Gary Wellman on 270, Kay Donnelly on 262, you're 5. Then we go back to Andy Barber on 245 points. Sean Hart, 235 points. Aaron Dillon there in the 8th position, 215 points. Pete Matson, the man from RayWhite Rural Gayndah, 213 points, is in the 9th position. And rounding out your 10 is Brett Campbell on 176 points. You can go through and have a look at where your favourite driver does sit as it does scroll down your screen as we head into round number 10 tonight. But it has been a dominant performance from your reigning champion, Justin Witcher, this season. We got 2 rounds to go, but it's still anyone's, only 25 odd points between the first two. And have a look at who's at the top through provisional practice at the moment. We'll see that when we go through the standings when that goes up. But provisional practice at the moment, as we're nearly about to head into qualifying, we've got Gary Wellman from Simboys up the front with a 30.36. Teammate Aaron Dillon there in the second position with a 30.52, and Christopher Finlay in the third position. So it's a Simboys 1, 2, 3 with a 30.54, and a new recruit, Nicholas Walsh, I believe, is now a part of the Simboys outfit. So Simboys 1, 2, 3, and 4 at the moment, Ryan. So, mate, first time commentating here on the Sim Esports Network. Good to have you in the booth. What are you looking forward to the most tonight as we're 27.5 minutes into this practice session?
Yeah, I'm just looking forward to seeing some nice, clean racing and to see who comes out best tonight.
Well, I think you're going to have a little bit of bias here, mate. The old man, so Andy Barber, in the number 5 Southern Stars eSports entry. How do you think he's going to go tonight?
He's actually pretty confident with tonight, so hopefully he can actually secure a top 5 today, which is always our goal personally. And yeah, I'll be watching him carrying him on.
Well, we'll see how we go, but I tell you what, there is another 19 drivers out there on track that are definitely going to have something to say about that one. But if you are tuning in here on the InterSim Esports Network, we are 28.5 minutes through the practice session before we go into the 5-minute standalone qualifying session. Be sure to give us a like on our stream on Facebook and YouTube. Be sure to give us a follow. Let everyone know that we are out there and broadcasting. So we're about to give you some amazing V8 Supercar action around ovals. Also, jump in on the chat and let us know you're watching. Interact with us. We love a bit of interaction here on the InterSim Esports Network. Let us know what the quality is like there on your stream, because we're always looking to improve. So we're now 29 minutes into the 30-minute practice session. We'll run through your 10. So it's currently Gary Wellman, Aaron Dillon, Todd Maxfield, Christopher Finlay, and Nicholas Walsh, your 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Sim Boys lockout at the front. Ruben Phelps in 6, Greg Spencer, Adam Malone, Andy Barber, and Lachlan Capel. Have a look, watch out for Lockie Capel, as we're on board with Pete Matson at the moment from RayWhite Royal Gayndah. But keep one eye on the 018 of Lachlan Capel in this one, because I tell you what, Ryan, mate, he's shown a lot of pace early in the season, and in a lot of other leagues he does, he's very quick. So Ryan just didn't answer back to what I was saying there. So anyway, we'll keep moving forward. Nearly the practice session is just about to wind up, and we're about to go into this 5-minute standalone qualifying session. So Justin Witcher, your championship leader, does he have what it takes tonight and get another W there? But at the moment, he's sitting way down in the 14th position through practice. He's sporting the number 1, the Pinnacle Esports Racing entry, as we're on board with Ash Nessa. We're just about to roll over the end of qualifying, and we do end of practice rather, and we do that now. So we'll go into the standalone qualifying. Who's your pick, Ryan? Who do you think's going to put their car on the front of the grid here for this Las Vegas round number 10 for 134 laps?
I'll actually need to be a bit biased for Andy Barber there, my father. But if not, I feel like Justin Witcher will possibly get the pole here and maybe get the win.
Yeah, we'll see how we go there. But you do realise now you've said that, you've now given your father the black cat, mate. So hopefully, I always put the commentator's curse on, but I'm glad that you're here in the broadcast booth with me tonight, because you can do all that and you can take the heat off me. So looking forward to seeing you throw someone under the bus tonight as opposed to me, as we see all the drivers starting to come out and do their qualifying laps. That is a new livery there we can see on the 15, is it? I believe it looks like that's Scotty Rankin. It is the same livery. It just looks a lot different in the high def. So Scotty Rankin we're on board with at the moment. So we'll see how they go as these times start to fall. Todd Maxfield, you can see on the bottom there's just set a purple sector. Lachlan Capel set a green sector as well. It's going to go very, very quickly. So we'll see how it goes as we make the way through. I've got to get used to all these cars again, Paul. I tell you what, it's been a little bit between drinks and getting used to the new liveries and all these cars again, as Todd Maxfield just goes to the top with a 30.87. Not to be outdone by Nigel Payton in second place, 30.88. Nicholas Walsh there in third with a 30.95, as we're going to see this change really, really quickly. We've got the Doritos entry there of John Quast there. So hopefully John will be looking for a good result tonight. But Scotty Rankin just went to the top, and Lachlan Capel just goes, whatever you can do, Scott, I can do better. And he's just jumped to the top and taken provisional pole with a 30.79. Adam Malone, the number 4 Southern Stars eSports Racing entry, has just jumped up into the third position with a 30.84. So Ryan, times are coming in quick.
And Ruben fell.
Yeah, Ruben to the top. So times are coming in thick and fast, and we're going to see this change really quickly. And we're not even a tenth of a second between first and about 7th or 8th spot at the moment. So we'll keep going and see how the qualifying sessions. Adam Malone didn't quite get his second lap under the belt there. Andy Barber, he's just put his car up into the 10th position, 30.97. So he's got about 2 tenths to find. Didn't quite get the number 5 Southern Stars Esports racing car around the track as good as he would have liked. In practice, he was just a little bit quicker than that, but in saying that, they did have the draft. So we'll see how that one goes. On board now with Brett Campbell as he makes his way across the start-finish line for his second flyer, and he's just popped in a 31.06 to put the 015 up into the 12th position. So decent qualifying there by Brett Campbell. He'll be looking to make his way forward in this one, but now we are on board with Greg Spencer. We'll see where he's going to put the car here in qualifying as well. So he hasn't settled up currently, and he's just done that. That's his first flyer. He's up into the 12th position with a 30.98. Raymond Yeager's just jumped up into the second position with an identical time as for Ruben Phelps from New Zealand with a 30.78. So it's now Ruben Phelps and Raymond Yeager, 1 and 2, identical times. But we'll see what happens here with Greg Spencer as we've just changed back to, I believe that's Gary Wellman in the Simboys entry. Gary Wellman through his qualifying at the moment is in 15th position, 31.31. He was at the top of the timesheets through practice, ladies and gentlemen. He's on his second flyer. Let's keep on board with Gary Wellman and see whether he can put the 45 Simboys entry up the front of this one, ahead of round number 10 of the Australasian Supercar eSeries, brought to you by RayWhite Rural Gayndah here on the InterSim Esports Network. So he'll make his way across the line for the second time. Where will he put the car? Gary Wellman, the number 45, up into P number 6, Ryan. So Gary Wellman, quickest through practice, not quite quick enough to get the 45 up on the pole here in the qualifying session. We're 4.5 minutes into the 10-minute qualifying session tonight. So something a little bit different. We're usually used to the 5-minute 2-lap standalone qualifying session, Ryan, and I can see now there that it's a 10-minute session. So a lot of the drivers will be already set their laps. So don't know if they'll advance it at all, but I tell you what, Ruben Phelps and Raymond Yeager, they can't be separated at the front. There is absolutely nothing between them.
Yeah, that's right, Aiden. And it actually looks like Justin Witcher is sitting down in the position 18, which isn't really where he would want to be at the moment.
No, not where Justin wants to be, but you can guarantee your reigning champion and current championship leader will not stay there for too long. Expect the number 1 of Justin Witcher to make his way up to the front early on in this race. We can see you all tuning in here on the InterSim Esports Network. Good evening to you, Troy Mortensen. Thank you for joining us, mate. Be sure to comment on the stream. Keep us entertained. I'm sure the drivers will as we bring you all the action, but have a chat to us. Erin Jane, thank you for watching too. Steve Hoppett, thank you for watching, mate. Donnelly or Mackenzie for pole. Well, mate, we can now officially say that you were incorrect there. I've just got a message, Brett Campbell. Brett, you're meant to be driving, not commenting on our stream, but just been told they've advanced the session. We can see all the drivers come up on the grid now. So I tell you what, Ryan, get buckled in and get ready. 134 laps of Australasian Supercar eSeries madness around Las Vegas Speedway. Vegas, baby. Where else would you want to be on a Sunday night but V8 Supercars around Las Vegas?
Yeah, this is going to be a wild start from Ruben Phelps and Raymond Yeager because none of them are going to want to come out second best on the first lap. But yeah, also I'm looking out for Justin Witcher in 18th. That's going to hopefully get himself up near the front in the next couple of laps.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And what we've seen in the previous 9 rounds of this series is it's definitely not going to finish the way it starts. These cars are very aero-dependent. Especially on an oval, they have got a lot of slipstream. So we're going to see drivers from probably mid to back of the pack make their way up to the front pretty quickly. But we'll go through your starting grid here for what will be round number 10 of the RayWhite Rural Gayndah Australasian Supercar eSeries from Las Vegas. It is your New Zealander Ruben Phelps off the pole with Raymond Yeager starting out of P2. Lachlan Capel out of P3 with Scotty Rankin out of P4. Aaron Dillon will start out of the 5th position with Gary Wellman out of P6. Greg Spencer will start out of 7th, Adam Malone out of 8th. Todd Maxwell will take up the 9th position with Christopher Finlay in the 10th. Nigel Payton will start out of 11, and in the 12th position tonight will be Nicholas Walsh. In the 13th position, Ryan, is Andy Barber, your father. 14th position is Ash Nessa. Brett Campbell will start out of 15, Tristan Koch out of 16. The man from RayWhite Rural Gayndah, Pete Matson out of 17, Justin Witcher out of 18, and rounding out your 19 starters tonight will be John Quass. So not quite a big field as we used to, Ryan, but 19 cars are definitely going to spice up and give us a lot to talk about here on the InterSim Esports Network for 134 laps around Vegas.
Yeah, I'm actually really looking forward to seeing the start, since it's my first time actually commentating for you guys, and I'm actually looking forward to seeing how this race starts and pans out, and hopefully the order can get shuffled around a bit in Dad's favour.
Well, hopefully it will, and hopefully you don't throw him under the bus, mate. So we'll see how that one goes. Blake Urquhart joining in on the chat as well. Good evening to you, B. Good evening to you, Daniel Heddersheed, mate. Good to see you tuning in as well, mate. Ladies and gentlemen, get strapped in. Go grab yourself a beverage, whatever it may be. Get ready, because we're about to go green for round number 10 of the RayWhite Rural Gayndah Australasian SUPERCAR eSeries. It's Ruben Phelps off the pole position with Raymond Jaeger on the outside of that front row. The pace car has come in. It's now on the green, not on the leader, so they'll wait for that green flag. They're going to roll up to the green flag nice and slowly, and we are green. Already a jump on the outside there by Scott Rankin. We're 3 wide straight away, but we are green for round number 10 of the RayWhite Rural Gayndah Australasian SUPERCAR eSeries here from Las Vegas on the InterSim Esports Network. And Scotty Rankin trying to make it 3 wide early on, but it's allowing the drivers starting off the second and third row just to get that run. But I tell you what, this is exactly what we love about the Australasian SUPERCAR eSeries. It's 2-3 wide, not a highly banked track, Las Vegas either. So yeah, it's good to see the guys after a couple of weeks off definitely getting out there and sending it. But Aaron Dillon, after starting out at P5, jumped straight up into P1 there, Ryan.
Yeah, that's actually a really good start for Aaron Dillon there. And I've also noticed that Justin Witcher has gained 2 positions since starting the race. And, yeah, and I've actually noticed that Ruben's dropped down into 3rd place. But they're all been very clean, and there hasn't been much contact yet so far.
There hasn't. Raymond Jaeger looking very racy on the inside line early with Aaron Dillon at the front, but we've got a little battle here as we go back to Gary Wellman. So Gary Wellman started out of P6, he's up into 4th at the moment. He's trying to make his way up onto the back of his teammates there, so he's going to drop down and try and get the run on the back of Raymond Jaeger, but it looks like he's just sitting on that outside. But another thing, Ryan, as these guys settle into the groove, we need to make everyone aware that are watching us tonight that there is only one set of tyres that they can take, and there will be a double stopper. So there will be you'll have to double stint a set of tyres and manage where you're going to come in and fuel. And we've seen earlier in the previous rounds on some occasions, the right-hand front of these cars wear off very quickly, and we've actually had some meatball flags, which I'm known to get a meatball flag every now and again. I'm sure Paul will agree with that. But some meatball flags of them actually, and we've got a lead change. Raymond Jaeger making the move for the lead of the motor race over Gary Wellman and Aaron Dillon. It's a little 5-car battle getting a little bit spicy at the front, but they can blow that front right-hand tyre. So as much as we see the drivers now racing pretty hard at the front, a couple of these drivers at the mid to backpack might just be settling in, Ryan, and trying to get their race pace and look at the long-term pace instead of trying to race for the lead of the motor race in this one. But I tell you what, you go back to the battle we're on now, where Lockie Capel in the 018, he's got his hands full at the moment as they're 2-3 wide going into turns number 3 and 4. Scott Rankin still just persisting on that outside line. So I think Scott Rankin, you can see just in the background there, I think him, after starting right up the front, I think he's playing the tyre management game here, Ryan. So what's your thoughts, mate? We're 6 laps into 134. Definitely early doors, a long way to go. But what's your thoughts, mate? Scott Rankin, he's gone backwards. He's actually down 6 spots after starting out of P number 4. Would you agree that he's possibly using that long game run on those tyres?
Yeah, I feel like he's saving a set of tyres to make sure that he can make it to the end of the race and without any blowouts or anything. And I've also noticed that Brett Campbell is the fastest mover in the field at the moment, being 7 positions up from his restart.
Yeah, Brett Campbell, you're good noticing there, mate. Brett Campbell is actually the biggest mover at the moment, so he's up 7 spots, as he did just say.
from the start of this one. Steve Hoppert tuned into the chat. He reckons double stint both sets, both stints. Don't take tyres at all. I don't know, Steve, whether that's probably going to be the ideal thing tonight, but I tell you what, it'd help you with track position. Not sure whether it'd help you with pace, but thanks for tuning in anyway, mate. Keep us company. I hope you're enjoying all the action here on the Indocin Esports Network. A long way to go. We're only 8 into 134. The guys are just sort of feeling each other out at the moment and settling in. It is still Raymond Jaeger leading the way, though, over Gary Wellman, Ruben Phelps, Aaron Dillon, and Greg Spencer, your top 5. But I tell you what, we've got a chain of about 10 at the moment, just running for the lead of the motor race. So I can tell you where they are at the moment, but I'll guarantee you next lap it'll be totally different. I'll just put one eye back on Justin Witcher on my live timing. We're not on board with him at the moment. We're on with Ruben Phelps, and we'll stay on this battle because it's definitely heating up at the front. But Justin Witcher, your championship leader, he's only up 4 spots. He's back in 14th position at the moment. So he's sitting back there, and he'll slowly, you can see him just in the background ranging up onto the back of this battle. But have a look at that. There's nearly a car in the fence as we go 3 wide. Ruben Phelps just got a big thank you, see you later, and fed up into the outside wall. He did a good job to keep that 0.6 off the outside wall, and no harm, no foul there. But there was a little bit of a hip and shoulder there for you early on in this one, Ryan. There was no love lost there.
Yeah, that was actually a close one to the wall. I'm not actually sure whether he actually made contact with that, but that's a really good save from not getting any damage there. However, he has jumped back into the 10th position, which is 9 positions off where he started, so hopefully he can get himself back up to front.
Yeah, no doubt he will. No doubt he will, mate. He'll make his way back up. The draft, you'll see, is absolutely massive. So it's probably a good thing that he's moved his way back. On board with your old man there, Andy Barber. So Andy, he's sitting back in the 14th position. He's just down 1 spot on his starting position, but he's a wily old fox. He knows what he's doing. He's sitting back there, and he's playing the long game here. So he came in, as you mentioned, with the goal to come in the top 5 tonight. There's a long way to get there yet. We're only 11 into 134. So a long way to go for the number 5, Southern Stars Esports Racing entry of Andy Barber, as he's got Justin Witcher just there on the inside. So your championship leader, you can see just in front of Andy Barber. So a good place for Andy to be at the moment. He can probably set his race off the championship leader. As there's a big tank slapper in the front. Justin Witcher, his eyes lit up and he goes, I'm going to the apron and I don't want a part of that one, but we're still going. Brett Campbell there and Justin Witcher, he's now moved up into 11th position. So I tell you what, Ryan, that could have ended in tears, but good driving by all drivers. But I bet you Justin Witcher's eyes just went the size of dinner plates as Adam Malone just goes into pit lane along with Tristan Koch. So they must have been involved in that one, but we didn't see any cautions or any actual contacts. So interesting to see those guys in the pit lane early on.
Yeah, not sure whether we saw any contact there, but it could be anything. Could be damaged front spoiler. They might be wanting to fuel up and get out of the pack. You never know. Strategy can play a big part in this race, especially with using fuel, using tyres. So yeah, there could be any strategy here as Ruben Phelps actually comes in the pit system.
Yeah, so it looks like Ruben, so they could be doing the strategy, taking their fuel dump early. They could be, but they could have got caught up with a bit of an incident. So Adam Malone, Tristan Koch have come through pit lane. They're still in pit lane, actually, so they're taking some damage. Ruben Phelps must be as well, so he must have had more damage than what he thought. Emma tuning into the chat. Good evening to you, MZ. Thank you for tuning into the chat. Steve Oppert, 77 laps per set. Fuel won't last that long. But Pinnacle Esports and Sim Boys definitely having a ding-dong battle at the front. Raymond Jaeger still leading the way. He's got Aaron Dillon fighting really hard for that first position on the outside. Aaron Dillon really trying to make that outside lane work. Raymond's going to be using up his tyres. Gary Wellman and Nigel Payton's in behind. So tell you what, this is team versus team. You've got Greg Spencer from Pinnacle as well in the background, and you've got Todd Maxfield. So it's team versus team, mate versus mate, state versus state, as they say in the NRL for the State of Origin. We're seeing that tonight, but we're used to seeing this little team battle at the front of the Australasian SUPERCAR eSeries between Pinnacle Esports and the Sim Boys. We've got to see those Southern Stars guys range up, but have a look at who's coming just in the background there.
Scott Rankin on that outside line. He's just slowly making his way back up. He's in 8th position at the moment. He did go down as far as about 11th or 12th. He's just making that outside line work as Brett Campbell there trying to squeeze through, just running that mid-line. Can't quite get the job there. You'll see Scott Rankin get the run out of turn number 2 down the back stretch, and we've got a car going down. Yeah, Ruben's got a lot of damage there. He's got no rear wing by the looks of it, so Ruben Phelps just getting out of the way. So he had a big incident. We didn't actually see what happened there, Paul. I'm not sure whether you can go back and bring up the replay, but nothing's really flagged to have that amount of damage. That's really interesting. And I tell you what, Ruben Phelps, after starting off the pole position, Ryan, he's not going to be happy with that one, 18 laps into 134.
Yeah, I mean, also Adam Malone, interesting bunch that came into the pits a few laps ago. Does look like they would be out of contention for tonight, since they are over 2.5 minutes sitting in the pits at the moment. But however, Raymond Yeager and Aaron Dillon, they're fighting for the leads. Actually, a really good battle. Just hopefully they're not using their tyres up too quickly.
Yeah, we're about to find out. We are 19 into 134. You can see the big angry pack in behind them at the moment, just sitting there. There's been no cautions so far, so now I've said that, we're probably going to get one as Aaron Dillon getting really close to the back of Raymond Yeager there out of turn number 2. But Nigel Payton's looking like he wants to dispose of Aaron Dillon and get up and help his teammate Raymond Yeager, but he's just got loose there and he's hit the apron and there was nearly an instant. So that's how quick it can happen. Nigel Payton was nearly fighting to come up for the lead of the motor race or make the move on Aaron Dillon, and one slight mistake, and look how far Nigel Payton is dropping back in the field there, Ryan.
Yeah, Nigel Payton sitting in 5th place at the moment. It's actually pretty exciting watching this.
Have a look at that. We're nearly 5 wide down. Sorry to cut you off, Ryan, but I'm going to be excited. Nearly 5 wide down the back straight of Las Vegas Speedway here for the Australasian SUPERCAR eSeries. Is it 134 laps, ladies, gentlemen? I don't know, because we're 20 laps in and they're nearly 5 wide. It is all happening, but this is allowing Raymond Yeager, Aaron Dillon, Todd Maxfield just to
there's a bit of contact there.
Extend that lead at the front, but Scotty Rankin trying to get the job done on the outside of Nigel Payton. And Brett Campbell, after a good start, he's gone into the wall as well there, Ryan. So good spotting by you, mate.
Yeah, the team won't be happy with how he's respecting his paint job. Yeah, he's coming into the pits now. I think he's going to fix this damage here and try and get back out. And yeah, hopefully, if there is a caution later, he can actually recover back into the lead.
Yeah, well, I can see Ruben Phelps is back in pit lane as well, and Tristan Koch is still in pit lane as well. So ex-teammates or still current teammates, I believe. They might have got together, so unfortunate for them, and Brett Campbell in as well. So those 3 drivers going over a long way back. We're on with Greg Spencer at the moment. So Greg Spencer sitting there in the 7th position. I'm still keeping one eye on Scotty Rankin up into the 6th position, 2nd in the championship, just behind your championship leader, Justin Witcher. He dropped back early in this one, but the 15 of Scott Rankin is showing a lot of pace as this stint rolls on. He's been working that mid to high line all stint, and he's just slowly, ever by surely, pegging it back. But now in saying that, he's moved back down, so he's gone, righto, now I'm going back down. I'm going to try and get in this draft and see where I can go. But he does have Greg Spencer in behind him. He's in a Pinnacle Esports sandwich at the moment, so he's not going to have it his own way, Justin Witcher and Scott Rankin. So we'll have to have a look at this little fight. You can see Justin Witcher just in front of Scott Rankin. This is the championship battle. They're currently in 6th and 7th. So Scotty Rankin, if he wants to have any chance of being crowned the Season 2 RayWhite Royal Gayndah Australasian SUPERCAR eSeries champion, he's going to have to dispose of Justin Witcher at some stage in this race. Not much speed up top, need a draft buddy to make it work. Kobe Jordan, thanks for tuning in, Kobe from Inside Lane Productions. Yes, you're exactly right. Who we got? Margaret tuning in. Evening, Margaret. Campbell, Yeager and Barber for the top 3 tonight. So, sorry, Margaret, Campbell is out of this one. Yeager and Barber definitely still a chance in this one. We've got the mini Barber in the broadcast booth with me tonight. So, Ryan, I hope you're enjoying it, mate. Can you see all the comments on the chat at all?
Yeah, I'm just reading it as the race has gone by, and it's actually pretty good to actually see people tuning in and getting involved with the race as we are heading through that.
Yeah, it's good. We always like seeing people tune in here on the InterSim Esports Network. It makes me look very, very incompetent when we do our trivia as we do when we're racing, but we'll do that shortly. I'm sure you've got a couple of them ready for us, Ryan, I believe. But Raymond Jaeger and Aaron Dillon still having a ding-dong battle here at the front. It's sort of just stagnated and settled down a little bit. They're not racing too hard. Todd Maxfield's still sitting there in the third position. Todd Maxfield recently moving across to the Sim Boys entry, or Sim Boys race team. So he's having a really good job there, or a really good race there rather, in the third position. Fourth is Gary Wellman, Nigel Payton your fifth. Scotty Rankin still sitting there in sixth. Justin Witcher in seventh. He's just made that move on Scott Rankin, so he's moved up into sixth. Greg Spencer in the eighth. Nicholas Walsh in ninth. And your old man, Andy Barber, rounding out your 10 there, Ryan.
Yeah, and actually... So Justin Witcher and Scott Rankin are actually the two people that are fighting for this championship tonight. So I bet Scott Rankin would be hoping to get the win tonight, and we'll see how that goes.
Well, I tell you what, now's probably the time. Scott Rankin's only 2 positions down the road, or behind Justin Witcher. He's just on the outside line. Greg Spencer's just in front of him. Let's go on board with Scott Rankin as he's in a battle in the middle of this motor race. Let's go on board with the 15 of Scott Rankin. Let's take you for a couple of laps around Las Vegas Speedway for the Australasian Supercar eSeries here on the InterSim Esports Network. Turn up the volume and enjoy this one.